on relay in the Arizona desert.
Right.
Which is essentially one of those things where someone calls you up and says, hey, you want to do this thing? And you're like, oh, yeah. And then when it happens, you're like, what the heck am I doing?
Ultra marathon, that's kind of scary.
Here's what you do. Megan starts off running, she runs 4, 5, 6, 7 miles, then she hands me the baton, then I run, then I hand it to you, then you run, and then you hand it to Megan, and we run for 24 to 30 hours, and we follow along in a van, and the name of our team was the Garlic Bagel Dogs, because that's what you smell like after, after a number of hours in the van, and basically you just run until you've run 200 miles.
200 miles?
Yeah.
Between 4 people?
No. It's a van load of very
people.
Smelly people.
Yeah. So you can get a little sleep in there somewhere?
There's not a lot of sleep that happens because you're in a van, and you don't want to.
Well, how many miles does each individual runner run?
Well, it varies, and the difficulty of each segment varies, but generally you're running somewhere between 4 and 7 miles, which is not bad. But then the funny thing is, like at 3 o'clock in the morning, when someone goes, "Hey, Regis, you're up for your leg,"
is there really?
And then you have to hand off to you at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's when it gets a little that's when you're like, that's when you're kind of like, what am I doing in a van in Arizona running at
3 in the morning?
Running at 3 in the morning. But ultimately, a real good time. Is that
not really?
Maybe not like a wine and Caesar salad good time, but it's something.
Okay.
It's something. Yeah.
Let's talk about this Green River Killer, based on a true story up in the state of Washington, huh?
Exactly right. Well, this Gary Ridgway, I don't know if people remember, but he was the most notorious serial killer in North American history. He killed upwards of 70 people.
Wow.
Yeah, and I play the man who caught him.
Washington State detective.
Yeah, Dave Reichert, who became captain of the police force, became sheriff, and is now a congressman. He's a true life hero and a massive success story. And this guy was one of the most tenacious, driven people you've ever hoped to meet. He's just an incredible man. But he devoted 20 years, 2 decades of his life to catching.
And that's how long it took to catch this guy.
That's how long it took, because back in the day they didn't have the what we see on TV, the CSI all the time. They didn't have these advantages back then, and so it was essentially legwork and writing things down and hoping to get a break. They actually did hone in on the actual killer at one point, but they didn't have the DNA evidence. It hadn't been developed enough. The technology wasn't there, so they couldn't bring him in. But ultimately, he got his man.
Gee, it sounds like it's a miniseries. It's a two-parter, right?
It is, yeah, exactly right.
Well, in this particular scene, your character, the detective David Reichert, is that
David Reichert, exactly right. Congressman.
Is congressman.
Let's not get that name wrong.
Is giving instructions on how he plans to capture the killer.
We'll do a 2-hour live program with a call-in line, so people can call in with their tips. We'll offer a reward of $100,000 to anything that leads to a conviction. We'll have a celebrity host. We'll reenact some of the crimes.
Why will this make a difference?
Because it works. I've talked to these producers. They've already solved over 200,000 felonies worldwide. 200,000.
When in doubt, turn to Hollywood.
That's right. That's right. Whatever it takes, because somewhere out there is someone who knows who this killer is, who's afraid to come talk to you. Now, whether it's the money that's going to make a difference, whether it's some kind of publicity, whether it's a matter of dumb luck, I don't care. Because we are going to find this guy.
About Tom Cavanaugh.
That's good.
Is this really Ed? Is this Ed, the Ed that I knew on TV?
Ed was 19 years ago.
Anyway, it looks like a juicy role for you,
Yeah,
huh?
it's a good
nice change of pace. All right, to capture the Green River Killer premieres Sunday night, and then part 2 on Monday night. Well, good luck with this, Tom. Nice to see you again.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Tom Cavanaugh, right back with our cars from the Auto Show.
Tomorrow on Live, Bernadette Theaters.
What does a Townhouse flip-sides cracker taste like?
It tastes like a pretzel and a cracker at the same time.
Wow.
That's me. I've never